Hello guys, and welcome to another video here on the Mad Chili channel. Today, we're doing some flying. I know, haven't done many streams lately, been a bit busy. But anyway, yeah, here, about to do some flying in the TBM 930. So, without further ado, let's actually get into what we're doing today. So, I will bring over here, what do you call it, OnAir company, you can see here. And we are flying from San Salvador International down to Stella Maris Airport here in the Bahamas, I think, is that? I'm guessing that's still the Bahamas. As part of a job for OnAir company. It's part of a bit of a larger job. The last part of this job I won't be doing as a video. I just thought this was quite a short little hop, so it'd be good to do as a video. So, and it is part of my little hint of how to earn more money in OnAir company as well. It is part of a job. Look, you can see here, 3 million. These two, by the way, were the same job initially, and then they got split for even more money. So I'm glad I waited. Anyway, you can see here, look, San Salvador out to Stella Maris, and then a flight down to Key West International. You can see there, 3 million. And it's only £300 a cargo and a passenger, so that is easily enough for this TBM here to handle. And another one going from where is that? Accomack County down to Langlade County. Again, one passenger, only 750 miles, $1.5 million. I just rented this one plane, and boom. So it's a really cool little thing, this, to earn more money in OnAir company. So let's get into the actual flying part of the flying. Now, I have actually been having a massive issue with Microsoft Flight Simulator crashing, and to tell you guys how to solve it, well, apparently you have to go fiddling around with settings in the security of Windows Defender and Task Manager and all the rest of it, or increase virtual memory or whatever. In short, the crash is caused by the offline AI. The shorter fix that doesn't involve altering system settings, and in my opinion, altering system settings to something other than they'd usually be, is pretty much a bug at that point. I don't want to be fiddling around with the virtual memory of my entire Windows, just for the sake of one game, because you can't do it application by application, and I'm afraid that obviously if you do mess around with one application, you may break another, so it's probably just more sensible to just turn on real-time traffic. So unfortunately, we're not going to have a bit of AI chatter on the radio. However, since thanks to current situation and all that, there's not a lot of traffic in the air, and it's all commercial airliners as well, so we won't see much at these smaller airports. But hopefully, I'm recording this on December the 21st. On December the 22nd, Sim Update 2, I think, is coming out. I'm keeping everything crossed that that they fix that bug. Basically, the bug is a crash to desktop after about half an hour to an hour when you're flying with offline AI. They claim to have fixed it. However, until after they fixed it, I never actually had the bug, so I wonder whether the fix actually broke it. I have tried all the solutions that they recommend other than changing the system settings. I've filed a bug report and I just got an automated email back, so pretty useless, not very happy with Asobo, really. But never mind. We can look past that. I think this will be a solution if the game crashes, then that's kind of it. It shouldn't crash, I don't think. Keep fingers crossed. Anyway, let's get on with the flying. We're already 4 minutes into the video. So, TBM, actually one of the most detailed aircraft in the game from default. Crash bar can come up, and both the generators can come on. Let the plane fire itself up quickly. There we go. Right, let's get the GPS up and running. Awesome. Using my USB joystick for this flight as well, just in case anyone's wondering. Press B just to set the accurate QNH pressure. There we go. 30.02. And go down to the PFD. Put that into FMS mode. Speed bugs. We want to get our departure speed bugs turned on. And that can just chill like that for now. Good. That's all fine for now. Pretty sure I started OnAir company. Yes, I did. Awesome. So, what we do now, head into the flight plan section, just hit done. It's literally, oh, that's weird. I think it's a 50-mile flight. Yeah, 50 miles. I don't know why that says 23, just ignore that. So, we want to get our flight director on, and our yaw damper on, and our nav and altitude, with vertical speed, actually. Vertical speed. Okay, I need to set the vertical speed, and then a initial climb rate of about 1,800 feet per minute, and then we'll reduce that to 1,600 feet per minute a little bit later. We're cruising to 8,000 feet. I suspect ATC will just give us that right away. And then we want to turn on our nav lights, and a bit unusually, we want to turn on our strobes because OnAir Company needs to have some kind of beacon light switched on in order to not penalise you. And there doesn't appear to be a beacon light on this thing. However, it does actually accept the strobe as a beacon, so that's why we're turning it on. I wouldn't normally turn it on at this stage of flight. And also, oh, accidentally just knocked that, that's fine. Want the AP and trims to be turned on. And we want the bleed to go on. This is what I mean, though. This aircraft is actually really detailed. Like, pretty much everything is clickable. Set our flaps for takeoff, and tune tower, and request clearance. Also, for now, the ICAO code, it gets updated. No, not the ICAO code. The registration of the airplane gets updated when you start on air. However, it seems to take ATC a bit of time to clock on to that. Oh, okay, 6,000 initial climb. Okay. Runway 10 departure, so that has a heading on air of 104. So we'll set heading.
November 6417 November cleared to Mike Yankee Lima Sierra Airport as filed. Takeoff runway
there we go.
Climb and
okay, cool. That is pretty much everything then. Just wait for that to finish. Squawk code lets set automatically. Yeah. Just need to wait for it to all finish. There we go. Okay, they're done. So just before we set off, I like to set up the PFD as well to my liking. So go to wind, and I like option 3, which is the option that displays the wind direction and the speed there. So option 3 is what I like. Head back, and there we go. So this is what I mean. This aircraft is actually... What was that? Wait, what? I just heard a sound then, like I was flying or something. Okay. Anyway, ignore that. But yeah, this plane is probably one of the most detailed in this game. By quite a long way, I think. It's also one of the best to fly. I actually, unlike the other planes, which I can't fly without crashing, I actually really like this plane. I think it feels really nice to fly. As I said, I've said it in streams. I think if Asobo put the same effort into this plane as they did all the others, this would be a good game. Trust me, right now, this game is pretty bad. I'm only playing it to try and get some more money in OnAir Company. Also because, you know, unfortunately, the scenery is so awesome that you just have to play it. Even if it does mean a few problems, this game just looks amazing. Although some people have been pointing out, apparently it looks like FSX for them. It's to do with some weird settings. I'm on medium, it looks pretty good for me. Anyway, let's get the engine started up. So we want to get the auxiliary boost pump switched on. And we want to get the ignition, the starter to on. PO heats can come on. There you go, and we'll set the power to low idle for now.
Your flight will be
there we go. That's starting up, so we can go into the normal mode of throttle. Cancel the master caution, and then we'll just wait for all this to all these things to disappear on the top, and then we can request taxi now. Just wait for all these. There you go. That's all the warning lights gone. So we'll request taxi. There we go. I'm using the taxiway ribbon because, as you can see, their taxiway instructions are very poor. But taxi to runway 10 using taxiway. That's literally the instruction. So you can see there's the instruction there. Look, so we're going over there. I'm going to take a bit more of a long route. I think I don't fancy getting the TBM through there. The ground of this airport is actually a bit messed up because there are 11 parking spots. Try to spot them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I wonder where the other 4 are. Yeah, they're in there, in that hangar, and that's where I initially spawned. And I tried to see if I could move out of the hangar by using slew mode, and it teleported me to the roof of the hangar. So, great job, Asobo, at that. I guess they can't moderate all airports, so I'll let them slide on that. Anyway, parking brake off. I've assigned it to the hash key. And let's get out of here. We'll just go straight on, pretend that we're not going to hit this guy. Because the turning circle on this TBM is quite bad unless you use pretty much full power. There we go. Obviously, I don't have rudder pedals, so my control of the rudder is a little limited. In terms of, I basically only have control of full lock using a button. I don't really have proper... I don't have an axis. Oh dear. Oh dear. This thing has reverses, luckily. Which don't appear to work. Do these reverses actually work? Right, let's go full power. I know I couldn't get it stopped in this bit. Okay, the plane's going straight on instead of, okay. Right, let's get slew mode on the go. Oh dear, I hate slew mode in this game. There we go. We'll have to start on air again, because it freaked out at us for having slew mode turned on. Right, there we go. Right, second time lucky. Let's try and not crash into a building. I think it'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's get our taxi lights turned on as well. And I like to turn the strobes off now. I don't like having the strobes on unless it's night time. Yeah, sorry, Grand Marshal. We have to go through you because there isn't really another way. Unless we want to end up... Okay, we can turn left here, look. Because there's a little free spot for us. None of these AI will move, they're just static because we're only using real-time traffic, of which is only... It's obviously from FlightAware, so it's only commercial airliners, pretty much. Anyway, lining up on the runway here, we can just park up. They've added a new thing. There was a bug where a little thing down there used to prompt you to take off from a certain place and it wouldn't disappear. Now they fixed that. It knows when you can take off at a certain point, so that's really cool. They have been cleared to take off, and we can take off from where we are now. Well, once we turn left, obviously. So, off we go. Away we go. Our registration will change once we're in the air and contact the next centre, by the way. Don't worry, it won't keep using the wrong registration. I'm sure it's not actually that noticeable anyway, to be honest. Anyway, right, time to get out of here for the 50-mile flight. It's a direct flight, by the way, down to Mike Yankee Lima Sierra, otherwise known as Stella Maris Airport. I don't know which I don't know whether it's like an international or regional or whatever. Anyway, line ourselves up on the runway, get the clock ticking, so let's click start. Line lights are on, otherwise we'll get a penalty, and make sure the pressure's set correctly, and off we go! Using rudder to keep ourselves on the centre line as much as possible. As I said, I have quite limited rudder control, so excuse it. I don't have rudder pedals, sorry. And plane just suddenly drops a bit of power there, it always does that. Up we go. Struggling to gain speed a little bit because of my stupid rudder control. There's V1. And 100 knots, rotate. There we go. And away we go. Positive rate, gear up. And autopilot on. And 1600 feet per minute. And then we'll start turning then towards our airport, our destination, because there's no waypoints or anything. Right, flaps up as well, because that's a good way to get our speed increasing as soon as possible in this plane. Right, acknowledge the handoff to Miami Centre. You can see, there you go, there's our turn out of the airport. Look at that, let's take a screenshot. This is what I mean though, this game is just beautiful. I mean, we can ignore some of the issues. You can see there our call sign has now updated. We're now 41 Juliet rather than 17 November. Right, up we climb then, and you can see there plane's got itself good with the there we go, and we can see already. Ignore the present heading and altitude response. Also, they don't give you vectors. It is a bug I've reported. The answer from Astobo was, well, it was from another thread, and it was basically, in short, we're not going to do anything about it. So, there we go. Because Astobo think it's better if you ask ATC for vectors by pressing this button here, and it won't be fixed, because apparently the pilot asks ATC for vectors now. Don't know what world we're living in, but that's a thing now. Yeah, ATC don't give vectors out, so oh well, I guess. You know, there are some things like that. I can't make it hidden that I love and hate this game at the same time. That's basically my opinion. Anyway, off we climb to 6,000. We're supposed to be going up to 8,000, although they're not going to give us any more altitude instructions. Now they've told us what our approach is, so we're just going to go up to 6,000 because that's what they wanted us to climb to. So I'm happy with that. So up to 6,000, and then we'll basically just continue like that until we get to the airport, and then I'll vector myself in for a visual runway 13. So that's the plan. Obviously a very short flight, about 13 minutes that's saying. So, you know, also I just learned maximum power on the TBM. It's good to get good climb, just ignore the red talk, it doesn't seem to do anything to the engine. Then once you get to cruise, then you can fiddle around with it. Anyway, so yeah, cruising at just 6,000 feet today. Obviously it's a very short little hop, only 50 miles. So it won't take us too long, which is nice. Let's get the climb power down now to about 1,200 feet per minute to allow our speed to start rising a little bit. Just to make the flight go a little bit quicker. Obviously, we are under 10,000 feet, so we've got a speed limit of 250 knots, although this plane can, I mean, in the descent, it can clear 250 knots, or it's quite difficult for it to clear 250 knots, like, steady or climbing. I think you do have to be descending to clear the 250 knot barrier, which is good because some of the business jets and things on this game are absolute rockets, and it's basically impossible not to overstep the 250 marker of speed, meaning that it's quite difficult to manage on an OnAir company because you do get penalties for that sort of thing. Yes, up we climb then, on our way to Mike Yankee Lima Sierra. No radio chatter, so the real world traffic is probably being a bit buggy. I think last time I tried to use it was buggy, that's why I switched to offline AI. However, it appeared that offline AI are broken. Okay, they are making us go to 8,000. I didn't think they would, considering they said maintain present altitude, but there we go. That's interesting. So we do have to go all the way up to 8,000, a little bit more to descend later on then, I haven't got a problem. The AI ATC may not tell us to descend as well. That's also a bug when they tell you to... basically, as soon as they assign you approach, all craziness breaks out. I mean, I was landing in a military base in Italy yesterday, and the ATC just forgot to give me an approach, like, until I was 1 mile from touching down. And, you know, I just did a visual approach. The AI didn't mind, weirdly, that I touched down without clearing. There was another flight I did, also, I think it was in Italy, I can't remember, it was somewhere, it might have been in Italy, but I was about to touch down, and they told me to go around. However, there was no other plane on the frequency, so I landed anyway, and surprise, surprise, there was no plane on the runway, landing, or taking off. So, the ATC do have their funny moments, so you got to try and take that into account, really, I think. That you can't always trust what the ATC says in this game, but, you know, it's all minor, it's all fine. Nothing compared to the game crashing whenever you have AI turned on. Anyway, 34 miles to run, so we're going to start vectoring ourselves when we're about, should think about 12 miles out, something like that. I'm going to use OnAir company to do the vectoring. It's a good little tool, really, because A, it tells you the heading to your airport, and the better part, if you go on to aerial view, you can actually see a satellite version of the airport. And then say you want, so runway 13, yeah? So that is, if I look at my compass, I should already know this, to be honest, that's about east. But yeah, it's a bit past east, so it's gonna be, that's east, so it's gonna be that runway there. So we're aiming, there you go, you can even see the 13 look, and there's a little Cessna on it or something. So you can see we're aiming to get our plane vectored there, and you can see our plane's there at the moment, so we've got a bit of a way to go yet, but it's a really cool little feature that I use to help do some visual flying when the ATC give you a visual approach and then obviously don't provide any details. Right, let's reduce our power a little bit because we don't want to go steaming through 250 knots, and we don't want to damage the engine more than we have to, although that's weirdly exceeding the torque limit, or I think that's what it's doing, doesn't seem to actually do anything. So we'll go back to about, we'll go about 70, it's really difficult actually because I've got a really small throttle axis, 72% on the power, why not? That puts us just under 100%, saves us a little bit of fuel and keeps us under 250 knots. We're only 6 minutes away now from our destination, so I think we'll begin our descent fairly soon. Can't believe, actually, it's 7:50. I looked down, I was like, hang on a minute, is that time correct? It is. It's mad. Anyway, 5 minutes, 45 seconds. You can see, weirdly, the offline AI don't show up on the GPS. However, the online AI do show up on the GPS. I find that quite weird. Why? Well, there we go. That's interesting. Because I was wondering why they weren't showing up on the GPS. I thought I was setting something up wrong. Well, there you go. Who knows? Although it does only show up in 50 nautical mile range, so maybe that's also why. Anyway, 5 minutes from the destination. I think we'll start vectoring ourselves about 15 miles away. We'll start descending probably about 20 miles away, down to about 2,000 feet, so I'll get that pre-tuned in now. Obviously, you know, 2,000 feet is quite a good altitude for a visual approach, and we'll ignore anything that the ATC say because, as I said, they're supposed to be giving us altitude and vector kind of guidance to our airport. However, you can plainly see they're not. So, you know, because it's not a bug apparently, it's how Asobo wants it to be. Anyway, my annoyance aside, we are now 20 miles away, so we'll get the heading set round now to a heading of about 280, I think. You can see if I try and put down, so we're aiming probably for like that point there, on the island, right there, so we can curve and then land successfully. So I'll set heading now, and hopefully, actually I'm not even sure if it will display where we're going on this map. No, it doesn't. Thought it might display a little line to display where we're going on the map. Oh well. Never mind. No matter. Anyway, right, I start our descent as well then. I know this is a very short flight, so just down to about 60% on the throttle. Actually, we might need a bit more to make sure we don't overspeed. 250 knots. So we'll go about 275 on the heading. I actually think 270 should be enough. I didn't see we'd already passed it. So 270 on the heading. Because I want to be aiming basically for that little point on the island, so try and vector myself best I can. OnAir does actually display what direction your plane is going in, so I'll be able to look on there using the aerial view for help as well. Really cool little tool, that. I mean, it's just meant to be like, you know, how do you like your world map looking, but I use it for a purpose of navigation. So descending nicely, a bit of sun glare actually, that's not the nicest of sun glare. Obviously I know this is a very short flight, that's why I decided to do it as a video really. I haven't done a lot of videos on this new flight sim, because a lot of the videos are going to be quite long. Again, I don't really like to edit things like flight sim, because I want you to see, you can see the ATC are going to be whinging at us now. We'll set the present QNH, they're going to be whinging at us because, you know, we're 13 miles from an airport, so we must be at 8,000 feet. Only 13 miles away. I mean, some ILS approaches start at 13 miles out, so I don't really understand where they're getting their logic from. Anyway, we'll ignore them. The ATC in this are, to say the least, they are pretty bad. However, again, Asobo aren't letting, I don't believe anyway, they don't believe they're letting third-party developers change the ATC, like in FSX. There's no program that can actually alter how the AI works. It can control you and speak to AI, like for example Pro ATC. However, it can't actually control the AI, which is a bit of a shame really, but something to, I guess it's just something in the coding that they like to stick to. Right, 250 on the heading. I think we'll go like 245 on the heading now, trying to get ourselves round. You know, we're not going to need too much of an arc, because this thing is very slow on finding an approach. We'll just ignore the ATC because no wind data, that means the wind is calm. Although live weather's still working, that's good. I don't know, weirdly, I used to have a problem where live weather was almost never working for me. However, even though they apparently still say it's an issue, I haven't had it. So yeah, to get the bug reporting for this game is a bit messed up. Like, a bug according to them is that the live weather doesn't work, and that is a bug that I haven't encountered for quite some time. And a bug that apparently was fixed about a month ago is the ATC, no, it's the AI offline causing crashes. However, it still quite clearly causes crashes, and it isn't just me, it's a lot of people. And you can see I've been using real-world traffic on this flight, and has it crashed? No. And how long have I been spawned in? Well, this has been running 14 minutes, the OnAir company thing. Actually, no, we restarted, didn't we? So I went into slew mode, so it's been a good half an hour. In fact, I can probably go into here. 36 minutes, to be exact, on Steam. There we go, 7 miles from the airport. And there we go, that's what we want. Look, around 9 o'clock, there is the airport. So, perfect. That's what we want. We'll increase the descent rate a little bit. And we want to report runway in sight. And we want to start vectoring ourselves round now. So that now they give us a vector. I mean, it's slightly wrong. I think 190 might be a bit steep of a vector for now. Because that's the only vector they ever give us. They don't give us any other vectors. It's a bit annoying. They probably could do with giving us a bit more than that. Right, MYLS traffic. Again, if we had, you know, AI offline, we probably would have some AI landing here right now. Sadly, not. I apologise. Hopefully the sim update tomorrow will bring these fixes, I really hope. Well, we'll just announce on final, because we basically are. You can see there is the airport. So we're going to turn over now to runway heading of about 130. And then the ultimate tool to get this thing to slow down, gear down, full flaps, and then that literally drops the speed like an absolute ton of bricks. So that's nice. We're a little bit high up, actually. We'll disable the autopilot now, actually. Actually, we're not too high up. We'll be a bit of a steep descent, but we're okay. Perfect runway to be landing on this as well. You can see from no vectors by the AI, we've managed to find the airport pretty good, so not all bad. Also, I just want to turn the AI, I just want to turn the autopilot on and then turn it off in the conventional way. There we go. To make sure that warning there is amber, like yellow, not red. I don't know why that's a thing I like. I don't like red warnings. Amber warnings are much better. Anyway, idle the power and let's just drop the plane. And we're only doing just under 3,000 feet per minute, so it's not too bad anyway. I do always struggle with being slightly too high when getting no guidance from the ATC. However, again, as long as you can, because this plane slows down quite easily, so the tip I have is basically dive bomb it, and then before the runway start to level off, and then you can lose speed quite quickly doing that, and you still get quite a good landing speed. You want about 100, between 80 and 100 knots on this aircraft. Again, the solution to landing planes on this game is basically to let them fall out of the sky. You can see we're going a bit quickly, so that wasn't the best. There we go. We're down. And I have no rudder control, there we go. And you can see in the end it's actually better we extend the runway slightly because there's only one exit of it. There we go. So hello and welcome everyone to, where are we going? I've forgotten where we are. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I have. Stop the clock, Stella Maris Airport. And there we go. No planes on the ground then. We'll park over by those marshallers, that's where the game wants us to park, clearly. And that's clear of runway. Right, line lights off. I'm looking at the nav light off, otherwise we might get a penalty for having no lights, having lights on the engine stop. Go around the fuel box, make sure we don't put in full fuel by accident, although we already had full fuel, actually, when doing this flight, because I was prepping the flight, because the fuel in the last airport was so much cheaper. Prepping the flight that I'm going to do tomorrow, not on recording. Okay, the plane's just stopped. This plane needs a surprising amount of power to get it off the line as well for the little propeller plane. It's normally only jets that need a lot of power off the line. Anyway, stop. There we go. Hash key to get the parking brake on. And there we go. Right, go to low idle. Retract the flaps. Want to keep that in low idle for a little bit to ensure the engine has time to calm down after the flight, and crash free we are here. So off goes the AP trim, off goes the auxiliary boost pump, off go the bleeds, off go the pedo heats, and that is an opportunity then to cut the fuel from the engine. Ignition can go off, and there we go. That is everything, I believe.
Engine off time now.
There we go.
Flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
There we go. Right, heading off, fuel damper off, altitude off. I just like to have no lights on there at all. There we go. That is us parked here in why can I not remember where this place is called? Stella Maris Airport. I don't know the exact name. I'll have a look at now. Actually, it is just called Stella Maris according to OnAir. Anyway, there we go. Parked at the airport. I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed. Let's just quickly power it off so we can clash the flight is finished officially in the game. There we go. 14 minutes, 20 seconds, time of flight. Awesome. And we'll just go ahead and click continue on that. Cool. So there we are. That is the flight officially done and dusted. Crash bar can come down. And that is everything off. There we go. Hope everyone really enjoyed that one. Hope to see you in the next video. And bye-bye.